Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here once again, and today I have a brand new video for Destiny 2, and we're going to be talking about the DCV and all the misconceptions that I've seen around it and why I don't think it's nearly as big a deal as a lot of people are making out to be. Now, I'm playing Battlegrounds, which is a activity that will be sticking around once the Witch Queen does hit, which is cool. It'll be added to its own playlist with some strikes and everything, so I think that's a good thing. I would love to see more activities be used fairly frequently that are put in the game, because I feel like sometimes we unfortunately see activities in the game that are around for a bit and then unfortunately we don't have a reason to revisit them, so adding them to playlists is a good idea in my personal opinion. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff a little bit more than I normally do because it is more of a rant than anything, more of just like an educational talk, more so than what I normally do. So make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed, all that kind of good stuff, because it does help me out tremendously. And we just hit YouTube partners, so I appreciate each and every one of you who has helped me out and let me hit that goal. Anyway, so one of the major things I've seen is folks talking about, okay, you are going to be losing content you paid for, which I understand. However, what they don't talk about is the fact that if this wasn't the option for Destiny, the other option, of course I get absolutely wrecked by that. I'm gonna leave that in. Anyway, I could have edited that out, but we're gonna keep that in for you guys. The other option is the game, us getting Destiny 3. And for me personally, as someone who loves the ongoing game, wants to keep the exotics that I've earned, all that kind of stuff, I think that's a worse option, right? If they're just out of space, I know people have compared it to other MMOs, which, if you compare it to other MMOs like Final Fantasy 14, which is the only one that's like, you don't see them around console a lot. So I think that's part of the reason, especially last gen consoles. I get it. They don't really have to do all of the same stuff that Destiny does, but Destiny is a bit more dated with regards to the engine and everything that it does run on. So I think that's hard to compare. And we've seen Destiny was originally intended to be sequeled, right? We got Destiny 1. We were originally going to get Destiny 2, and then followed by Destiny 3 eventually. Now, Bungie learned overall that instead of doing the sequel numbers, that maybe it would be better to just keep Destiny 2, keep Destiny as one singular game, and not have to constantly be resetting like we saw with Destiny 1 into Destiny 2. And I agree with that entirely. I think ultimately we're better off just continuing the story, continuing everything, so we don't have to completely change what we've done. We don't lose all of our exotics, all the weapons, the roles we farm for. We don't lose the all the locations, all of the raids, and we basically start over. People forget how problematic Destiny 2 was at launch, right? How much of an issue it was. And I don't want to go through all of that again in Destiny. You look at Borderlands and Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 2, people replay those campaigns a lot, and I feel like that's why they don't mind going from one to the next. And the repetitive loot grind is what that community loves. So it's not apples to apples. Like, you want Destiny to have legitimate end game. You want it to have a lot of options. So if we go to a Destiny 3, the problem would be we'd have probably one raid instead of multiple. We'd have limited exotics that are in the game instead of a ton of them that we have now. You'd have limited options as far as weapons, because it'd have to redo all of that stuff, bring it onto the new system. And just like we're seeing now where they're bringing forward old raids a little bit, they're only still doing it one at a time. So that's another thing that's going to take a while for Bungie to completely go through, update everything, make sure everything is good. So either we don't get new Destiny things for, I don't know, 3 years as they make another sequel, or we have this as a better option, which again, it's not for everybody. I understand it's not the best, most ideal scenario, but all the people saying that folks who are happy with this are Bungie shills, and there's no way that you could, you should be okay with that. I understand the misconceptions because a lot of people don't understand how Destiny was built and what the Destiny community is looking for. But my counterpoint to that is always going to be, this is our best option in order to have a game that's updated more continuously than basically any other game that I've seen. A game that a lot of people still want to enjoy in a variety of different ways. And I just don't think it's as easy as a lot of people make it out to be. I just whiffed all those shots. So yeah, that's mostly what my feelings on the DCV. I think most people who are like complaining or upset just don't understand the rock and the hard place that the game is in right now. And I would imagine if Bungie didn't have to do this, they wouldn't. They just wouldn't. It's just the bottom line. Is there's no reason for them to do it unless it's absolutely necessary. The other thing I've seen is people talking about the file sizes, and I get that. I don't think that's as big a deal as some folks make it out to be. I think more so it's the fact that they're able to react to make patches a lot quicker, right? That's huge, and they're able to bring in more new content. If they got rid of less or they didn't get rid of any, and we got over the course of our multiple seasons, we got barely any content each season because they're not able to put more in the game, I feel like that's also worse than what we get now. And if we if the patches were a lot slower, everyone's been praising the fact that they're able to fix things a lot quicker now than they used to in the past. And again, that is a part of the DCV that they've said, the content vault. It's just part of life on what you have to do with this game right now. And again, it's not ideal. It's not something that I think anybody is saying like, okay, this is a perfect solution. But if it's the best solution they got right now, I understand it, and I wouldn't call anybody who defends this a shill or a Bungie apologist or whatever the case may be, because I'm of the opinion that if I spend $30, $40 to go to a movie, go out to eat one time, go out and have a good night out in the town, I'll spend more than I will on the Forsaken campaign that I got years of fun and entertainment with. So that's just that's why I find some of those arguments to be less perfect than the folks who are like, I paid for this content, I should be able to keep it forever. And while I get that, I just don't think it's as big of a deal as these folks make it seem, personally. So I'm not too pressed about it. Anyway, I did miss the Battlegrounds activity. I think it's good. I'm glad it'll be part of that playlist. I'm excited to have reasons to run older content more. I think, if anything, that's where Bungie could improve the most, is finding reasons for us to replay older content, older raids, older dungeons, older seasonal activities, all that kind of good stuff. I think that would be fantastic. Give us new loot, reprise the loot every once in a while, bring in updated perks, bring in updated reasons for us to play in these activities. I think that's one of the main criticisms that I would have towards Bungie personally, but I think even that is something that I understand, and I definitely get the reasoning why that's not something that they can do all of the time. I just feel like there's a lot of older activities that I would love to see get more shine, even as they focus on newer things as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to finish this out, but my name is JoPaWrites. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? And yeah, I am looking forward to more Destiny. I think the Witch Queen expansion is going to be one of the best, and I'm excited to see what the game has in store for us going forward. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all later.